Well, we start with the presentations, with the investment forum. As I said before, we have 7 companies today to present. And what we will, they will present one after the other without questions. We leave the question to the end. And we have sent all the ones who are registered in this investment forum. You will receive a questionnaire where if you are interested in any of the projects that are presenting, you can fill there, and we will organize meetings online with the companies that have people interested in knowing more about the company. No? The first company that we will present today is Dive Medical with Marta Otín.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So I'm Marta Otín, CTO and co-founder of Dive Medical, where we are focused on diagnosing pathologies through vision. So we all think that we see with our eyes, but it's actually our brains who learn how to see if they receive the proper inputs. And that is why early eye care is so important. So this is what normal visual development looks like throughout the first years of life. If there's an erroneous visual input, if we detect it early, then we can still treat it, and there's room for recovery, and that person will have good vision as they grow up. However, if this erroneous visual input is detected late, then there's no room for recovery, and that person will never have good vision as an adult, not even wearing glasses. And this early detection is difficult because visual explorations are very challenging, especially, for example, in non-verbal patients. We can see here that they required very qualified specialists, but even then they're very time-consuming, the results obtained are very subjective, and it's challenging to obtain feedback from these non-collaborative patients. And this is a very big problem, especially for certain vulnerable groups. For example, in young children, 1 in 3 visual problems still remain undetected. There are a lot of people with neurocognitive disorders who are very challenging to explore, and also this problem affects people with low vision, which typically happens in elderly population, and it is a very prevalent problem. Now, the most striking fact is that 90% of vision loss cases can be prevented or treated if they are detected early enough. And that is why we have developed Dive. Dive provides a fast, automatic, and accurate visual exploration for any type of patient, even these non-verbal patients. We use eye tracking and artificial intelligence. The system can be used by anybody with minimal training, and it automatically adapts to each patient. We have filed a patent to protect one of our most relevant assets, which is our ability and our know-how to perform this reliable eye tracking on any patient, even these non-collaborative ones. And if we go back to our population, everybody, even these vulnerable groups, they all can be serviced by Dive in different use cases. So for example, at primary care, Dive can perform an early detection, a cost-effective screening that can be useful for pediatricians or NGOs. In secondary and tertiary care, we can perform diagnosis and monitoring of the visual development, useful for ophthalmologists, optometrists, and we can also be a companion diagnostics for pharmas, over-the-counter providers, or health systems. And we are currently analyzing the product market fit for all these sectors. So we are a Class 2A medical device already with CE mark under the new medical device regulations, and we have 2 software models to cover all the needs that I mentioned before. So on one hand, for primary care, we have Dive AI vision screening to provide a real-time indication of the need of referral of the patient to the specialist. And on the other hand, we have Dive Vision Exam that provides more than 50 objective metrics for the specialist to perform the diagnosis and monitoring. This is a very big market opportunity. We estimate the size of the market in 2.7 billion euros, out of which we can service more than 300 million, and we aim to obtain more than 28 million by 2028. If we look at our competitors, there's a big set of solutions that target only verbal patients and perform mostly partial screenings or exams. There are a few solutions like photoscreeners, autorefractometers that are thought for non-verbal patients, but they perform very partial exams, so they generate a lot of unnecessary referrals and leave a lot of pathologies undetected. Our most direct competitors are Right Eye or Novasight, who use eye tracking like us, but they cannot work with nonverbal patients and they do not offer screening solutions. So Dive is very well positioned on the competitive landscape. Now, we founded our company 3 years ago, and in these past 3 years, we have achieved very impressive milestones. We obtained the CE mark, filed a patent, and we currently have a database with more than 5,000 patients that we use to develop and validate our technology. We are very proud to have obtained 2.25 million euros in funding, most of it public non-dilutive funding. 300K are equity funding, so we have a pretty clean cap table. And in terms of impact projects and sales, we have 600K euros coming from recurrent sponsored screening projects that we're doing with Huawei, 7 device reservations obtained before the CE mark, and we are currently in negotiations with a top medical distributor. And this is just the beginning, because Dive is not a one-product company. We are building a technological platform. So what I've talked to you today about is our 2 first products, which we have in the commercialization stage already. But we are developing new updates and tests that are in the development and validation stages, but also new products. We are developing one targeting neurological disorders, which can also be detected and monitored through vision, which is in the development stage, and there are many more applications to come. So all of this has been possible thanks to the great team that's behind. You can see here the co-founders. We bring together 4 PhD experience in the medical and technological field and collaboration with top companies and research institutions. We have recently been joined by an interim management team with experience in entrepreneurship in the medical sector, and we have with us a very motivated and multidisciplinary team. We also have an advisory board with 2 very high-level profiles in the sectors of business and ophthalmology. So what we are doing now is we are preparing a Series A investment round that we aim to close in about a year. And that is why today I'm bringing to you the opportunity of investing in a pre-Series A convertible loan. We are looking for about 500K euros, out of which we have already expressed interest for about half of that. And that is meant to complement the non-dilutive public funding that we have achieved. We have recently received 1.4 million euros from Frederic. And so what we are looking to do in the next 12 months is validate this business model with pharma, biotech companies, refining the strategy for the commercial exploitation of the technological platforms, and growing sales with our first products. Consolidate our full-time team, and of course develop our technological platform. So we would love for you to join us in the adventure of becoming the international world standard in the diagnosis of pathologies through vision. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marta. Now we go with the next company, which is Doctomatic, with Frederic Llordachs.
Thank you so much. My voice has been victim of the success of this event, so sorry, I will do let's try. I would like to start with Bona nit Barcelona like the boss, but here we are. So we are Doctomatic. What we do? First of all, we are a seasoned team. So I was one of the founders of Doctoralia that in 2016 became Doc Planner Group. That is one of the European digital health unicorns. And with me in this project, we have Carmen Rios that has been for 20 or 30 years involved with the startups, the last 5 years in digital health. Fernando, that has been for 30 years just managing and developing different teams. And our vice president in Latin America is André, that was 5 years with us in Doctoralia in Brazil, and that has been the last year working as a COO in a diabetes for monitoring patients company. So, and we have the luck to join us. The thing is, what we do here, pandemic has really highlighted that we need to accelerate how we control remote control a patient remotely. So we have about 5 billion patients that have not communicable diseases around the world. So there is a massive market that really we could help with solutions. The thing is that we were having a look to that, and we realized that it's plenty of platforms doing things with several tools, but none of them was medical device and condition agnostic. So we just started to work hands-on, and this is the massive market. We are probably the only ones that are doing that since now. Maybe there is somebody in China, but no idea. Okay, so what we do is we don't want to work with the Bluetooth paradigm. What we do is taking data directly from the screens of any medical device you can have as a patient at home, and that means tensiometers, glucometers, pulse oximeters, thermometers, scales, or any medical device you can have in the future. What does it mean? That with our proprietary machine learning model, we can transform this data from a picture in actionable data. We have released we are a young startup. We don't have 2 years old. We are 1-something years old, and we have reached the CE mark as medical device class 1 that really allows us to work in Europe. What we do with how we take this data from from the patient app, that can be a feature from an app that a hospital or an insurance company can have by themselves. We send alerts if something is wrong. We can integrate through an API directly with any electronic health record. That is also part of the idea. So we want to be part of the workflow. All this data is stored finally in a dashboard where every patient has the limits for their condition. And then if something is wrong, if the value is out of the normal range, we send an alert. And if the patient is not taking the measurements as we asked to do, or as is asked to do by the doctors, we also send an alert in order to have this adherence to our tool. It's better if we see it in a video. Okay, so this is a glucometer, the cheapest you can find, the pulse oximeter you bought at Amazon, the scale you bought at Carrefour, and you have your smartphone at home, or the tensiometer your insurance company just gave you. The point is from the app, you just choose the device and taking just a picture from the results, and in less than 1 second, our artificial intelligence sends you a proposal about what. So then you validate the data, and it's automatically sent. Well, it's as easy as it is, but this really gives us an opportunity and scalability, because you only need to prescribe this use to any patient you can have in different conditions. And I was talking about different conditions. Luckily, we are working with Hospital del Mar from the early beginning. We have 3 use cases with them, and they asked us, okay, we have the data from medical devices. What if we were able to send them also scales, alerts, whatever? Okay, we have introduced that in the things that we can do with Doctomatic, and they work as a medical device itself. So you choose it, and you can add it. I mentioned we want to be the platform for all the conditions, and this is it. So using a lot of medical devices, you really can control the most prevalent non-communicable diseases. And even you can find other use cases, as we found with Hospital del Mar, that is, for instance, post-surgical patients sent at home to detect early problems, so bleedings or temperature or whatever. We have chosen different business models. We tried the B2B2C model at the beginning. It doesn't work in Spain, so doctors are good doctors but very bad sellers. And then we moved to the B2B space. That is where we really feel comfortable. We started to do things Hospital del Mar and in many other hospitals, not only here in Spain, because we also have a global vision, so we started to work in a space that really know better than others, probably, that is Latin America. We also are in approaches with insurance companies and others to use our scanning service, our result service as a service. And the other thing that we found is that nursing homes and the small hospitals can also need an easy and fast way to get data directly from the medical devices and be sent directly to the electronic health records. So then we have a contract with Corian Spain. Corian is one of the main European companies in the residential space. They have 19 nursing homes here in Spain, and we started to develop our services in their facilities and trying to work with others, and also in small doing testing in hospitals. Just as a small summary, we are scalable because we are a software, we are not a hardware. We are easy to use, we are easy to implement, we are easy to integrate through APIs. We can increase the remote patient monitoring efficiency easily and very fast. And even working into facilities, we can improve the nursing team's efficiency. In Residencia Seniors in Torre Quebrada, Málaga, they told us that they are saving 15 minutes per patient per monitoring in elderly people. That is a lot of money at the end of the year. Okay? So then our future goes to connect other unconnectable devices like respiratories in ventilatories, devices in palliative care. That is something we are talking with the hospital, and many others. We have all the regulations ready. We have started even to have regulations not only for Latin America, that is, but also for the States. We have HIPAA compliance too. And this is the sales we have since now, and they are very different. So we are not focused in one only space, from nursing homes to public hospitals in Spain, to home care and nursing, to private hospitals in cardiology, VITAS. In cardiology, we have started tests with cardiac patients. In Latin America, that is the main space where we are really growing. So we have petitions for 5,000, 6,000 patients from now to June. And probably we expect to end the year with more than 40,000 patients controlled using our system. So really is something that I really like. We have covered a lot of milestones, and the last one is coming here and asking for an investment to help us to reach our final results, to go for a big round in the proper future. We are burning a lot of money because we have an extensive team. We have the runway that we have, and we really would like to find somebody here, the team here, really willing to join us as the next digital health unicorn. So please call us. Thank you.
Thank you, Frederic. Now we go with L&M Data Science with Michel Mesquita.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Michel Mesquita. I'm CEO and co-founder of L&M Data Science, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about our current project, which we call NeuroFinder. So I had the pleasure to work for about 20 years at King's College London Institute of Psychiatry, where I had countless opportunities to talk to psychiatrists and people, collaborators in the pharmaceutical industry, that always highlighted the challenges of dealing with patients with mental health conditions. So mental health conditions are a very important health problem. It corresponds to 5 out of the top 10 causes of disability and premature death in the world. It's got a huge impact in the economy. It responds to 30 to 40% of long-term sick leaves, and with an impact of $2.3 trillion only in 2010, predicted to raise to $6.5 trillion by 2030. The problem with mental health conditions is that it's very, very poorly understood and very, very tricky to treat and to develop new treatments. So the need that we identified is that there is a very clear need to develop biomarkers to predict treatment outcome and to help the pharmaceutical companies develop new treatments. So our solution is NeuroFinder. So we are neuroimagers by trade and by experience, and our plan is to use functional neuroimaging, so resting state MRI that measures blood oxygenation or oxygenation of brain tissue, along with measurements of blood flow in the brain using arterial speaking labeling, and measurements of electrical activity in the brain using EEG to extract a bunch of features and to create via AI a classifier that's able to classify an unknown compound or unknown treatment into a class or into already in the market treatment. So this is a result that we already have with a proof of concept that we developed with a small database of 12 drugs, with which we actually achieved 80% accuracy. So our plan, LNM Data Science was founded in 2021. Last year, we spent most of the year developing the proof of concept classifier. And this year, we are actually implementing this as a cloud-based solution. So our idea is by 2023, the fourth quarter of this year, we're going to start offering this service to pharmaceutical companies. As soon as we have the platform up and running, we're going to start collecting an extensive database of drugs for treating mental health conditions. So we are going to start with the preclinical side first. This is to mitigate all the problems of developing this such novel technique. So we're going to use it in the preclinical, which is actually an advantage because we can actually use that directly with for the pharmaceutical companies as a very good translational tool for them. Once we have the preclinical classifier sorted, we're going to start acquiring clinical data. So the idea is to identify new patients with mental health conditions. We're going to apply the same data acquisition protocols. We're going to subclassify mental health conditions into subclasses, so we know, or at least we think, that some mental health conditions, they actually badly treated because they have subclasses. They're not, you can't really bunch them into a single thing. So we're going to use the same technique to subclassify mental health conditions. We're going to follow these patients into treatment, and as soon as we have the information from the treatment, as soon as the clinicians, they reach a successful treatment, we're going to bunch all this information from the preclinical and the clinical side to further improve the biomarker for the pharmaceutical companies and to create a treatment advisory tool for clinicians. So we're calling them Neurofinder Pharma and Neurofinder Clinical. So where are we at now? So LNM Data Science has two full-time people working on it. So I'm the CEO. I'm responsible for the technical aspects of things. My co-founder and partner is the CEO, Loreto Rojo, and we are full-time workers on the company. We collaborate with King's College London Institute of Psychiatry and the Brain Center from King's College. So we have Diana Cash as our main collaborator. That's where we're developing all the protocols and the techniques. And Professor Steve Williams is our scientific advisor and is helping a lot in the clinical side of things. So we use this collaboration over the last 2 years to develop the proof of concept classifier, but also we started talks with pharmaceutical companies. They are very, very interested in collaborating with us and very interested in our technology. So we have an NDA with GW Pharmaceuticals in Unity Biotech, and we are starting talking to see how we can partner up and develop this service together. At the end of last year, we started being incubated by Emprembit, which is the incubator from in Mallorca from the Parques de Empresas Tecnológicas. And as a result of this, we already managed to set up a network of preclinical MRIs. So we have collaborations with the IBIMA in Malaga, the SIC Biomaguni in San Sebastián, and IDIS in Santiago. So we're going to use these centers first to develop our database, but second to offer preclinical CRO services. We have a partnership with TechLease, which is a Brazilian company specialized in implementing cloud-based solutions. So we're using them to develop to implement our algorithms and our data management and analysis pipeline in the cloud. We're in the process of appointing a CFO, and also contacting a consultancy in sales. And we also have like a lot of small projects that we are developing with the University of Illes Baleares. So different from other companies, our main competitors come from academia, and the reasons for that is that the equipment that they use in the preclinical, is that they cost a lot. Keeping the personnel and training them costs a lot, but what we have in our favor is that and they offer this as a complimentary service, but they're not geared to do it as a high throughput service. So how will we plan to make money? So the first market we're going to go into is the preclinical CRO market. We're going to offer preclinical CRO services, the imaging platform, and also data analysis. And we estimate that we're going to make around 1 million per year by year 2. And this is based on current funding levels at the Brain Center. The second stage, when we go to clinical, we want to get, we're going to offer the clinical CRO services to pharma companies, and we aim to add another 5 million to our revenue. And this is based on current funding levels at King's College. And the final goal is to get to Neurofinder Clinical, where we expect to get around 20 million a year. And that's based on 200 hospitals signing up for the platform. And I mean, just to give you an idea, this is less than the total number of hospitals in New York City. So we are seeking 250,000 for an investment. This will cover the commercial consultancy that we are getting, financial consultancy to make sure that we know what we're doing with our money, and the cost of the platform development. And this will cover the next 2 years of development of our project. And what this is going to allow us to do is to start offering the preclinical CRO services, which we'll use to fund the next stages of the project. And if you guys want to know a bit more about Neurofinder, just come and have a chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Michel. Now we go with Nootric. Carlos Pitcher is the CEO and founder of Nootric.
Hello, I am Carlos Pitcher, CEO of Nootric. Nootric is a service that can apply personalized nutrition through a mobile phone. Our team of dietitians collect the medical data from the patients and then prepare the personalized plan. It means the personal is adapted to the patient's conditions. It means, for example, if the patient has breast cancer and diabetes, we will adapt the plan to both of conditions. Okay. We offer the service to well-being companies and especially to health and medical companies. We offer the service through medical practice that can recommend the service to their patients, and also to hospitals, to the concrete department that wants to enhance concrete treatment, or to the nutritional department if they want to reach more patients without spending in hiring dietitians. We offer to the patient a powerful app that has all the convenience to stick to the program, and also makes it easy to communicate with the dietitian on a daily basis. The plan is adapted day by day to the circumstances of the patient. We teach the patient. We try to teach the patient and focusing on behavior. It means that, for example, if a patient, a pregnant woman, or a patient with in a dialysis treatment, we will teach them not only how to choose the food and how to cook the meal, we will teach them also how to behave if they have nausea or they are vomiting or they feel tired. Okay, we focus on behavior. To the medical team, we offer the possibility to focus on the treatment and reduce the quantity of time dedicated to non-physical consultations and avoid or reduce interruptions of the treatment and reduce medical workload. Okay. When we set up the plan, we let the physicians validate the content of and complement if they want. All of our content are endorsed by associations and also are based in scientific evidences. And also when we build up the project, we build up a communication protocol, so the physicians and the nurse can decide when the dietitian team will contact them and how, if some events occurs regarding the patients. Okay, during the treatment, the physicians, the medical team has continuously report and has the possibility to access a dashboard and to see how each patient is following the plan. Finally, what we want is empowering people and let them learn how to manage the nutrition, having in mind and their conditions. And also we want to reduce the medical and the hospital workload and focusing in the treatment. Okay. We are currently covering programs for cancer patients. We are managing oncohematology and breast cancer patients. Also, we're covering chronic renal patients. My site is failing and I cannot read too much, sorry. We are covering chronic renal patients, managing dialysis and pre-dialysis patients, even if they are pending transplantation or they are being transplanted, if they are obese or not. Also, we can cover traumatological patients with our bone health program, and also gynecological patients focusing in pathologies like endometriosis or PCOS, fertility, pregnancy, having in mind diabetes, postpartum and lactancy or menopause. Okay. We are preparing some new plans that we will be releasing soon. Cardiology plans, cancer plans focusing in prostate or skin, thyroid or colon, and endocrinology plans. Every time that we prepare a plan, we focus not only on the condition, also on the treatment and on the secondary effects of the treatment or of the different treatments that can have a condition. Regarding measured results, we have the opportunity last year to do a project with Ribera Salud, with Elches Hospital, and to measure the results of a batch of patients in the oncohematology department. We were able the project was a success because we were able to reduce malnutrition and there were no interruptions of the treatment. That was one of the objectives. No interruption of the treatment, no visit to urgency, no hospital admissions. Also, we were able to measure a batch of users with the same hospital to the nephrology department. They were obese patients in dialysis treatment that were waiting for transplant, and the project was also very successful because we were able to achieve in the patients that most of them losing weight and gaining muscle, and some of them were able to access to the transplant earlier. This project was awarded 1 month ago with a prize. It was the best telemedicine project. For the diary Salud Digital, the group Cofares. Regarding our team, we have an amazing team. Janina Garrigós is in charge of the IT crew. She has experience. She was in a medical incubation before. Dr. Isabel Martorell, who is present here, and if we have questions later, medical or technical questions later, maybe she will answer better than me. She was in the official college of nutritionists and left the official college to join our project. She is PhD master in nutrition and metabolism, PhD in biomedicine. She's in charge of our team of 7 nutritionists right now, and myself. I am in charge of sales and investor relationship, and I have experience, this is my second company, and I have experience in startups. And our current situation, we are a financial stable company. We are investing in sales. We want to invest in our sales department and in expansion, especially in Spain and in Brazil. And we are looking for 2 or 3 investors with experience in the health area, and in the hospital area, we are looking for 250K and 2 or 3 investors that can help us to prepare to our next round, A series on the next year. We think that in the future there will be no treatments without nutritional support. So if you think like us, we invite to join us. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos. Now we go with the next company, which is Smart Circuit with Isaac Cano.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. Today I want to share with you Keralt, with this our health risk assessment solution for hospitalized cancer patients. It is a solution that combines advanced data lake technologies, AI, and user profile dashboards, and it is used basically to help clinicians and managers at hospitals in providing acute health risk assessment, which at the end we will show it results in improvement in health outcomes, cost containment, and at the end of the day, contributing to the efficiency of healthcare systems and healthcare delivery. Keralt algorithm has been developed in collaboration with the Catalan Health Institute, and together with Hospital Clinic, we are now starting an early stage joint venture between 2 already existing startup companies, Smart People and Health Circuit. So together we are starting this adventure, Smart Circuit, with the support also of InterSystems. So a little bit of background. It is well recognized that improving health and healthcare efficiencies through health risk assessment, it's a must. It is key for all kinds of hospitalizations, but more importantly for cancer patients. So we need measures that are able to assess the overall medical condition of these patients. And in this respect, multimorbidity, it's a very important factor because it is associated with worse outcomes. So we need measures that takes into account the main cause for hospital admission, but also those diseases that the patients bring from home, comorbidities, and potential complications that may happen during this process. Keralt is a tool that only requires medical diagnosis and medical procedures data. This is data mostly available in all electronic health records at hospitals. It is a tool that is able currently, because it has been trained to do so, to assess the risk of intra-hospital mortality, to assess the risk of having a long length of stay, as well as the risk of needing to go to the intensive care unit. But it's a very flexible tool because we can train it with the own data of hospitals. It's a data-driven algorithm, and we can also train it to the specific outcomes of interest of the different customers. It has already been validated against the current gold standard for assessing risk of worse outcomes at hospitalization, such as the Charlson Index or the Ellis-Hauser. But it has also been checked against our current or our main competitor, which is a solution from vendor 3M, and it has shown to overperforms in predictive accuracy of the different outcomes that I just mentioned. It has been done so thanks to having access to data from the hospitals of hospital data from the Catalan Health Institute. Just to show you that it is a tool with flexibility to be adapted. We have also validated to a specific use case. In the past, as many of us, we tried to help somehow during the pandemic, so we train it to predict critical COVID-19. So it allows us to check the flexibility of the algorithm. It overperformed many of the measures used for assessing in the clinics critical COVID-19. We have also assessed the potential of the tool not only to help clinicians in the daily clinical practice, but also to help managers or insurers on how to distribute the income in the healthcare system. And we have shown that with Keralt, we are able to explain in a much more exhaustive way the cost of hospitalizations, and we are also able to predict much better than our main competitor those hospitalizations with high cost. With high cost. We have already developed a proof of concept. This proof of concept is based on a data lake that is thought to be on the premise of the hospitals to collect the data that is required to fit the Keralt algorithm, and we are developing two different dashboards, user profile dashboard. One dashboard for managers at hospitals and healthcare systems, and another one for clinicians. The main aim and the impact of the dashboard for the managers is to help them on making comparison among the different hospitals in the healthcare systems or the different lines within a hospital on quality measures, and we can accommodate to the requirements for the different customers, but also to do risk adjustments based on hospital costs, for example. We have already early adopters and some traction on the dashboard for managers from, of course, from the Catalan Health Institute that is helping us on co-designing it, but also from Salut Madrid, the Andalusian healthcare system, as well as Region Marche from Italy. Our second dashboard, we thought it to be of help for clinicians, but also for shared decision-making with the patient. The idea is to use the solution to help the clinician and the patient on deciding what is the best clinical procedure for the different conditions. We have already for this dashboard early adopters and some traction. Basically, hospitals are interested on adopting it, our hospital clinic as one of the promoters, but also Hospital 12 de Octubre in Madrid, University Medical Hospital in Mannheim, but also University Medical Hospital in Grenoble and University Medical Hospital Łódź in Poland. Our go-to-market, of course, is to go, first of all, to hospitals, but later on have as a second market payers or insurers. Our strategy is to start first in those countries where we already have early adopters. This is in Spain, France, Germany, and Italy, but with a vision to go international. And for us, the States and Israel is a next step. We have a B2B business model, so our revenue model is based on yearly licensing. We have a license for the solution that is composed of the data lake and the dashboards, but we can offer also additional services, basically to adapt the algorithm to the data of our customer, or if needed also to provide support on integration of the solution with the already existing hospital information systems. We have a sales projection that is based on achieving 125 hospitals or governments of health services within the next 5 years. We have already been interacting a lot, trying to get support from many different partners in this industry, but we have spent most of the work to generate a big team, a good team. Of course, as founders, myself and Johnny Fisher from Smart People, we are putting a lot of energy on this joint venture, but we have also built a team of technical and clinical people to make it happen, and also an advisory board that is composed of the father of the algorithm from the Catalan Health Institute, but also great people helping us on regulatory compliance and market access. We are raising funding because reaching all of these objectives, of course, requires money, as all of you. We have a plan that is to, first of all, focus on external validation of the algorithm with these early customers or early adopters. We will focus first on developing the dashboard for the managers because it has a shorter pathway towards regulatory compliance, but we will keep on working on regulatory compliance of our dashboard for clinicians. It's supposed to be a 2A medical device, so we expect to reach regulatory compliance end of 2024 in order to be ready for commercialization. Before reaching this point, we are trying to reach a lot of pilots that help us on going to this direction. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Isaac. Now we go with Tensor Medical, and the founder, the CEO of the company is Sergi Valverde.
So thank you so much for the invitation to present our project here today. Also, thank you so much for the rest of the presentation. It was awesome, our startups. So I'm Sergi Valverde. I'm the CEO of Tensor Medical. We are a small company, a spin-off company at the University of Girona and also from the Valverde Hospital. And we are developing, I think today you are going to listen a lot AI. So we are also an AI company that we are developing MRI and biomarkers for the evaluation and diagnosis of neurological diseases. During the time of this presentation, there's going to be nearly 2 new cases of multiple sclerosis patients in the world. Multiple sclerosis is the most disabling neurological disease of the central nervous system, and is affecting mostly young adults and mostly women. And it's going to do it at the same time that these young adults are trying to build their careers, they're trying to have children. So early diagnosis is critical, but also starting a treatment as soon as possible. Because the sooner that we start a treatment, the better is going to be the quality of life of the patient during the life. So it's during this evaluation of the efficacy of the treatments where neuroradiologists and neurologists perform a series of periodic MRI scans to the patients. And if in these MRI scans they found the presence of new lesions, it will mean that the current treatment is not working. So they need to change it as soon as possible. But the problem is that virtually in all the world today, this process is done completely visually. And we know that this is not the best way of doing it. They are reducing a lot the sensitivity. So there are some patients that they are not having the best treatment, so reducing the quality of life. Furthermore, the latest research clinical guidelines that has been published by the European and also the North American research groups do not recommend to use software for the diagnosis and the evaluation of the problem, mainly because 2 reasons. The first one is because these solutions are not showing a real clinical evidence that they are really helping the radiologists to perform the task. And the second one is that these solutions, they need that all the patients of the hospital should be scanned exactly with the same machine, MRI machine, with the same image protocol and the same conditions. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So at Tensor Medical, our goal is to solve that. So what we are doing is to develop a new software platform that what it's trying to do is just to overcome these limitations and to be used in the clinical practice. So what we do is to have a software that the clinicians can use it when they are inspecting their patients. So basically, they have an easy-to-use solution that helps them to find where the lesions are, if the treatment is working, and then have the best decision-making. But you may wonder why these guys are different from the rest, no? Why we have? So it's because we have been working on that for more than 12 years from within the same hospital in Valdebrón, because at the end we have been doing research there, and we have two main reasons to believe that our solution can be the solution. The first one is about accuracy. Very recently we published a study in the prestigious Multiple Sclerosis Journal where we wanted to know which is really the benefit of using the software by the radiologist. So what we discovered was that when the neuroradiologist was using the software to see if the treatment was working or not, he was able to find 87% more patients where the treatment could potentially not be working. And this is crucial because for this 87% of the patients, we could anticipate to the disease. So we could change the treatment earlier, so we are increasing the quality of life of the patients. And the second thing is about operability. So with our solution, we are not asking the hospitals, hey, you need to have all the images standardized with this particular protocol and MRI scanners. What the AI is doing is currently to adapt to each of the scanners and to each of the hospitals where we are going. So basically, if you have an MRI scanner and you have MS patients, our solution can work. And in fact, this is what we are doing. Right now, we are doing an international study with 7 key opinion leaders in Europe, where we are trying to show this in an international study, which is the software works independently of the country, independently of the MRI scanner, and independently of the modality. In fact, thanks to this validation, today, the software is being used in 6 international reference centers in Europe, and is being tested every day and learning every day. So it's clear that the market needs first solutions that are clinical relevant, but also solutions that can be used in all our hospitals. Otherwise, they are not useful. And this is why we think that today there is a clear market opportunity for us and in introducing our algorithms into the clinical practice. If we talk about the market, we have identified that just evaluating the clinical evaluation of the treatment with multiple sclerosis, we could reach a potential market of more than 100 million per year. But what is interesting here to know is that the same AI algorithm and technology, we can also use it to evaluate other biomarkers. For instance, like brain atrophy. Brain atrophy is something that is used in multiple sclerosis, but it's also super powerful in dementias and especially in Alzheimer's. And unfortunately, today we have 50 million patients with Alzheimer's, and this number is going to increase to 90 million in 2030. So applying this technology to other markets, we can reach a potential market which is up to 1.3 billion per year. So we have a clear idea. So we only have one goal in the company, which is to become the standard protocol in the evaluation of the clinical treatment response in multiple sclerosis in Europe and US. And for doing that, we need to overcome several obstacles. The first one is what we have been doing during the last 2 years, which is to identify why the hospitals are not using software, try to build a better solution that they really love, and then try to have also the clinical evidence to support it. Once we have this, once we know exactly what the users want, now is the time to go to market. And this is what is the phase that we are now. So what we are doing is we want to expand the software in 30 hospitals in Europe during the next 2 years. We need also, of course, the certification as a medical device, which means also certification in Europe and also in US with FDA. And of course, we need to change the clinical guidelines. As Pau was saying before, it's not an easy task at all. But if you have the clinical evidence, it's easier. This particular phase that we are now is critical because it depends the scalability of the company in the US and Europe during the next years, and will help us to reach in 4 or 5 years that the vendors, the payers, the assurance companies in US will start buying the software, so becoming the standard protocol. So we just closed a seed round of 1 million euros in public and private funding. This round will cover most of the cost of this particular phase that we are now. But we strongly believe that the insight of knowledge of new investors, it's critical to speed up the process and to improve our workflow. So we are opening an investment opportunity of 500,000 euros, that will be used just for to improve our workflow and also to improve our speed in the current tasks that we have now. So trying to find more talent, trying to go faster with the certification, and trying to be adopted in more and more scanners. Our idea is to offer this investment in convertible notes that will be released in our next round A at the end of 2024, starting 2025. And we think that an investment like this can report 8 times the investment of the investors right now. So it's a nice opportunity for an exit strategy that we plan for 2028 to sell the company. And just finished presenting the team. One of the nice things of the project is that we have an interdisciplinary team, not only composed by expert in AI, but also composed by key opinion leaders in the field, like Professor Alex Rubira, which is one of the most important radiologists in multiple sclerosis, and the head of neuroradiology of Valverde. But also people that are working in the field and in entrepreneurship, like Bert Huisken. And finally, also to remark an important remark for who is leading the development of this. And super important, also nice to have one of the most important neurologists, and we are lucky to have it in Barcelona, which is Professor Xavier Montalban, and also other key opinion leaders like Professor Barkov, which is a key opinion leader in multiple sclerosis and also in dementia. So thank you so much. Happy to chat with you if you want to know more about the project, and thank you.
Thank you. We go now with the last company. Thank you, Sergi. We go now with the last company that we present today, which is Panel Health with Asier Pérez.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I guess I'm just between, my presentation is between coming beers. I hope to be nice for you. So I'm Asier Pérez, the CEO of Panel Health. And what we do is we activate patients. Patients remain to be the most underused resource in all health ecosystem. And we do this by measuring their experience to deliver insights to our clients. So what are great experiences? Great experiences are those that are empowering you as a patient. They are educating you to how to behave, how you can improve your condition, and how you can live with your disease better. And on the other side, bad experiences are those that make you remain more time in the hospital. There is a lack of adherence, whether to treatment or to medical advice, etc. So this makes longer stays in hospitals. But the bad impact is not only for patients, it's also for healthcare providers, because as this recent study from Accenture is saying, patients are leaving or are changing providers due to bad experiences that they get. Our service, it's interviewing patients to collect real-world data from the patients. We are sending them an SMS, and they get interviewed by our intelligent bot. We are using artificial intelligence in 2 steps. One, the moment that they are interviewed, because, I mean, this is not only a questionnaire with a very linear way of doing the questions. I mean, depending the answers that the bot is receiving from the patients, next question should be different. So we are getting much richer data from the patients, and also we are making the interview much more relevant for the patient. So we have many more completed interviews than other competitors, let's say. Once we get all this data, that it's always, because we are working on patient experience, it's always anonymous and aggregated. We analyze with our natural language processing model, and together with machine learning, we are delivering to our patients metrics, insights, and benchmarks to make decisions on how to improve patient experience, and this way also to optimize healthcare delivery services. In relation to who are our clients, we work for all the spectrum in the health service, delivering different values for the different players, let's say. And so we go from pharma to public healthcare systems. And as you understand, it can be very different, but we need both of them. And as you might know, the public health system represents already 80% of the market, so we need to work with them in order to gain other players from the private sector that I'll explain in some coming slides. At the end, what we are offering, it's a super easy, like plug-and-play solution, but being very methodological to work on patient experience, and this way to start working on value-based healthcare. So we are on the impact to deliver better experiences, this way reduce cost and bring greater loyalty. But not only that, also improving patients' health. Sorry, you want a picture? In relation to the market, this is a recent also study from Inwood Research that is saying how the global market of patient experience management, that is where we are working, it's growing on a rate of almost 20%, and it will get those numbers by 2028. So this means that the experience that has been already developed in other sectors of, let's say, banking or others, it's arriving now into the health sector. And even it's going to be more obvious with all the impact of coming technologies. In relation to where we are now and what we are working on, I want to differentiate these two columns. On one side, you have public institutions, and on the other side, you have private institutions, and we do work for both, and we need both. I know that from an investor's perspective, public sector might not be very easy or lucrative, and it's not. At least it's not quick, but we need that to gain the other part. So currently, we are working on 5 pilots. As you see on the slide, mostly focused on chronic diseases that they are generating very heavy expenditure from healthcare providers, but also those are chronic diseases that bring very bad life quality to patients. And I want to underline in relation to what is our traction, that on the private column, let's say, 3 of the clients we have there, they came because they fill up the form in our website. It's going to be a year soon that we published a book together with AMCA, the Madrileña Association of Calidad Asistencial, with the sponsorship of Novartis. And this is positioning us as somehow key opinion leaders on patient experience and how to implement systems to measure methodologically the patient experience, so therefore our clients to implement actions to improve this patient experience. In relation, I want to underline a part of I want to go on the private sector now. For them, at the end, we are building loads of insights to improve their sales arguments by the deep understanding of how what is the patient experience. So we do that on one side, and on the other side, we work for the hospitals in order to deliver better experiences again. So as a business model, we are SaaS business to business. As you can see, we are even offering a free subscription model, which is not delivering you all the questions, not all the intelligence, but it's a way to try out our services and to gain traction again. And from there, we go to other prices that even they are higher than on the slides. And our margins, we expect to be in 2025 30%, and in 2027, maybe even higher of 45%. In relation to competition, and following a bit the discussions we got in the round table before, we see among our different competitors also potential exits on a near future. That I'm not going to enter into that, but we believe we are much better than our competitors because we are only focused on patient experience, understanding deeply patient experience, and not going to only very functional relations on the patient experience on how much did they have to wait, but much more relational, creating much more powerful insights. We are fully GDPR compliant and very easy to implement because we don't need any sensitive data from patients. We only need their mobile phone number, and we don't have access to it because it's pseudonymized and all these things, and it's erased later on. And it's fully scalable, easily implementable, and also it doesn't require any integration. In relation to our team, here are our 3 co-founders. Anas is an expert on designing digital products based on big data. Peyo, he's the tech guy, and myself, the CEO. And we have on our advisory board 2 key opinion leaders in Spain, at least, on value-based healthcare, and they are Inés Gallego from Cruces Hospital and Carolina Varela from 12 de Octubre. Together with Francesc Costa, that is CEO of Ipsos Spain. Ipsos is one of the 2 market leaders on traditional market research, and Ricardo Llamona, who is a doctor, but together also a consultant on health technology. So finally, this is our roadmap for financing. We are looking now for 250,000 euros on convertible notes, and we want this money to run these pilots that we are already working on, together with the validations that we might be having an end. They might be having an end by the end of the year, or maybe a bit later, but also to increase our sales on the private segments, and also to be invested in marketing actions, not only in events like this, but also events like, for example, in October there is iChom coming to Barcelona. And we need to gain presence in those spaces, let's say, to have a very powerful position in relation to patient experience. So by the end of this year, we should be having the product validation, and the most important thing is having very clear indicators on how much cost are we saving or optimizing for our clients, and also how much more loyalty we are bringing. And our plan is, by the end of 2024, to do another round of 750,000 euros, together with the conversion of this round we are running now, for the growth and for the development of all the NLP model intelligence that we are working on, but in a very modest way for the moment. And I don't think I have a closing slide. No, I don't have one. So thank you, and please get in contact with us. We'll be happy to talk to you.
Thank you, Asier. Well, now we have here prepared, if there is some question, an open question now to the entrepreneurs, you can launch it. Or if you prefer, we leave it to the network meeting with a one-to-one meeting now, network below, no? Well, I want to remind you that we have shown here 7 projects, but we have more than 35 we have received in ESADE forum, in ESADE, and we have them in the platform that you use, which is Dilum platform. As you know, all the members of the network, you can see all the rest of the projects, no? And if you are interested in having more information of any of the companies that have been shown here, you can fill it in the questionnaire you will receive, and we will organize them from next week, these online meetings, to know more about every company. And now I give you the word to Georgina Sorosal to close the event. And I also want to thanks again to all the co-organisators of this event. Thank you very much.
Això ja va, no? Just to add that I will be very brief. Thank you very much for all the organizers. Thank you very much for all the collaborators, the panelists, and good luck to all the entrepreneurs. And just to tell you that our next forum will be in October this year. So if there are some entrepreneurs here that are just thinking about applying in the next forum, you're welcome. And that's it. Thank you. And let's network downstairs to the main hall. Thank you very much.